Today I'm going to talk about using a script that I created that's called for styles, renaming styles. And the situation is that when you create characters, you ought to have styles that are named appropriately for the characters, because you might have multiple characters. So let me show you this situation where you've got multiple characters that have similar stylings, but then I want to change the styling of one character but not affect the others. So it's a good idea to name the styles according to the character. So in this particular case, I've got styles for this character, but they're just generic. They're telling what's being styled, but not for this particular character. So in here, all I'm going to do is underneath my script style, rename styles, you can select Prepend with space. And you don't put a search string in. And this particular character I'm going to call Terry, and so you just put a replacement string in there. You don't need to have a space because it'll automatically space it, and click OK, and it will rename the styles. Also, if for example you have a character that you're going to change or modify, and so you might want to change the name. So let's say instead of Terry, let's call this Tamara, and so I can just go underneath scripts, style, rename styles, and instead of prepend with space, I need to change this to rename by string. And so I put in here Terry. Again, I don't need a space, and I change this to Tamara. And I click OK, and it will find that string and replace it appropriately. Now, sometimes if you're not paying attention, you might add spaces in there, and so I can go in here and it will take care of spaces as well. So let's show an example of that. Here, let's say that I want to get rid of this, and so I want to get rid of Tamara, but let's say that accidentally what I did is underneath the style, I say rename by style, and I'm going to replace Tamara with nothing. So when I do that, it looks like I replace it, but there's actually a space there. So now let's say that I go in here to styles, and I rename by style. In this case, I do a prepend with a space. I don't need the search string. And let's say that I put in Tamara now, and I say OK. Well, when I look at the style here, there's actually two spaces here. So if I want to get rid of those two spaces, all I have to do is include them when I do the rename styles. So that's how you can get rid of spaces. So for example, if I rename styles and I rename by string, Tamara, and I include a space this time, but there's two spaces, so I can actually include two spaces and get rid of the replacement string. So it's just going to just delete Tamara space space. Click OK, and you can see now it's got no preceding spaces. So that's how you can deal with spaces. But that's it for replacing strings in styles.